All right, so I'm here with Ed at Frontier Developments in front of this gigantic. It's kind of small for life size, but what's it like? Like a 1 to 5 scale?
I think even less.
Even less. It's like a 1 to 2 scale, or it's like a 1 to 1/32nd scale. That's what it is. 1/32nd scale Cobra.
I think you made that up, but that's great.
I totally made that up. 1/32nd scale.
The thing is, we
Cobra.
couldn't build it to actual size because it would take up this whole booth by far.
Well, that would be kind of cool. Then you could just play the game on the inside of it. You could make a full-on flight simulator.
For next year, we'll do that.
For next year, okay. So this, Frontier Developments, anybody who's played this game knows what's going on. Elite Dangerous is the new one that they've come out with, and it's still kind of growing.
Oh yeah.
And they've got a whole new set of stuff that we're looking at. I know you guys just released the Power Play, and it introduced the factions that currently existed, and it shows a kind of a graphic map of who's controlling what sector of space.
That's right, yeah.
Now, one of the things that I know was heavily asked about on the forums and that kicked into game like almost right away was, will there be player-controlled factions or heavily player-driven factions?
Factions, yes. So, good question. Good first question. Basically, yes, there will be. So already we've mentioned about the minor factions thing that we're going to put into the game, and we're going to be giving more information very soon on the details around how you set up a minor faction. And then that minor faction can of course grow, but you have to work really, really hard to make sure that that minor faction is kept aloft as well, because there'll be so many other groups doing it, setting it up, that you might just become another sort of even a tiny, tiny, tiny faction, a little dot underneath, you know, lots of other people, players, groups trying to do these massive groups together. Eventually, if you like the top minor factions, the ones that are the largest and have had the biggest influence on the game, will then sort of battle it out at the top, and eventually could even become, and again this is more details on the way about how this is going to work, could eventually become a real power in the game.
Excellent. See, when we first got the Power Play kicked into play, I was looking at all of the political agendas and what was going on and why. I'm like, hey, I don't really like any of these political agendas. I don't really like this political party, or the Empire, screw that, or the Federation, they control Seoul and I can't get in there, so I'm kind of pissed off. So what could we do to change the rules of the game is really what it was boiling down to. And I was like, how about I start a cult?
I mean,
so I figured I was going to start a cult. We were going to like find a nice Earth-like system somewhere else, and we'll start there, and we'll rope out to a few others.
A nice Earth-like planet, yeah, very good.
We're going to kind of turn it into a giant religious movement. That's kind of what I want to do.
Well, of course, also as well, so Power Play is like a really great basis for that. We get a lot of feedback every day about Power Play. The community management side of things, I see it all the time. Like people either love it or you know, don't love it as much as others. And I think that it is something that is going to be built on, especially when we introduce this idea of minor factions and players actually be able to put their own stuff in there. But that's going to really change things up. You can have people who want to start cults. You can have people who are like Bon Jovi fans. I want to see the Bon Jovi fan minor faction rise to the top. Not because I'm a fan myself, just because I think it'd be ridiculous and funny. But
good point.
We also announced today, which might interest you even more. This morning we announced Elite Dangerous Horizons, which is our planetary landing expansion pack. So players are going to be able to land on the planets on airless moons, basically, and atmosphereless worlds.
Now you're going to be able to get out and like run around?
So you're going to be getting onto our SRV, our Surface Recon Vehicle, which is called the Scarab. And you're going to land on sort of bases. You can actually land on outposts, but you can also land anywhere on the planet. It's all generated completely. So these are world-sized sandboxes to play around in. You can have like crashed ships, abandoned outposts. You can have manned outposts that you and a winged group of friends, 2 of you can go in on ground, and then 2 of you can just bomb from above. It's super exciting. But what I'm saying is, you can find a place that you think you inhabit as that world, and you can have your cult live there and have your meetings there on that planet.
We start here. This is how where it all begins.
What would your cult name be? What was
we're tossing a few names around, but we're going to call it the Elysian Kingdoms.
Okay.
As it's kingdoms with plural, because we're going to have more than one, many, many worlds that we are going to be. We're a syndicate of worlds, and we control everything. That's the goal.
I didn't expect you to actually have an answer for that one.
CQC is here on the Xbox, which is kind of a disappointment because it's on the Xbox.
Well, we've said as well that it's day one. As soon as it's released finally, it's actually coming out on the PC the same day. This is on GPP, so the Game Preview program at the moment. It's a great place to test it out first for Xbox people. But as soon as because they're new to the game, and it's an interesting way to test out these new features. Not with people who played the game lots, but this new crowd coming to the game. So then when it comes out for PC, it'll be this nice polished product for all the PC players, and we'll love it.
Okay, I will.
Just have a go today. It's great.
I will accept that as a logical and functional answer, and I will quell my hatred for the Xbox. That's an excellent explanation.
It's the same when it's finally released. Final release is the same day as the PC,
and it's going to be the same game, so you're going to be able to play with Xbox players versus PC players.
That is not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed yet. So that's the hope. The hope is that we'll be able to destroy Xbox players and show them exactly how much more powerful.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
With your cult.
With my cult, absolutely. So, is there going to be like joystick control support for an Xbox, or is that all
Again,
based on?
That's nothing to do with us. That's all based on third parties who want to make that
Excellent.
stuff. We're always talking to new hardware suppliers and things like that. Always excited to look at the for frontier developments at the frontier. Always excited to see what the next big thing is. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, I'd love to see it, but I don't have that information.
Gotcha. Okay, so the last question is, can we take a test flight on the Cobra today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
We're doing, it's like 40 euros for it, but you do get like a dinner supplied with that, and a wet wipe, and a complimentary Elite Dangerous t-shirt for I Rode the Cobra. So.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna go play some CQC on the I Hate Myself controller, and we're going to check out, I do like the fact that this entire booth over here has the Saytech X52.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So if you have one of those, excellent. If you don't, get one. And if you've got any of the others that are fantastic,
but you can play Elite Dangerous
with a mouse
and keyboard and an Xbox 360 Flash if you hate yourself. That's not true, I do it at home.
He just doesn't know he hates himself yet. We will incorporate him into the cult. All right, thank you very much, Ed.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Okay, so we're standing here in France. I would butcher the language if I tried to speak it. So this is a game that somebody created. It's not, let me phrase this. It's not a game, it is a game maker. It's MyRPG Master. It's kind of like the RPG Builder, except this is all in 3D. So it's like building a game in Unity without all the coding. You've got everything from stencils and graphic design, and you can create objects. If you want to do animation, you have to build it into like Blender or Maya, and you actually have to create the animation in that, and then you can import it into this game. But all of this stuff is done kind of point and click, drag and drop, but it's RPG Builder, so it's making a 3D world RPG game. It's actually really neat. I'm kind of excited about this, because I'd like to see what other people can make. It's currently in alpha on Steam in early access, and they're going to move it into beta here very, very soon. So this is less a game and more a game maker. For all you people who want to build a game, you want to build an RPG, but you don't want to know how to code, which I think this is a good stepping stone for those. It teaches you how to write your story and build the things in a graphic level, but you don't have to code any of it. It's all done for you.
Guys, be sure to check out the Corsair coverage. They are unveiling a new Cherry MX Switch. It's silent, so be sure to check that out. Also, they've got some new RGB action going on here with the brand new version of the Strafe. They've got a new MMO gaming mouse called the Scimitar, and they also have some new RGB headsets. So check out the footage by clicking on the screen or see the link in the description, or else.
We're a syndicate of worlds and we control everything.